much of that debris fan. We see those people, a few people out walking on, came down in maybe like 2014, kind of narrowed down Hance Rapid a little bit, changed it around slightly. And Hance, he was a miner, but realized once the tourists started showing up, that's a lot better way to make a living, and had a hotel up at the top of near the top of his trail, and the hotel was at the top at the Grandview Point, where the Grandview Trail goes down onto Horseshoe Mesa. And he would bring tourists down into the canyon, and then once the railroad came in 1909, he took a job over there at the south, what we think of as the South Rim today, as a doorman and storyteller for the El Tovar Hotel. And apparently could spin quite a yarn. A lot of people in those days were concerned about the Indians, out here, early visitors to the canyon. And he used to tell a story about being chased by Indians when he was on his mule and coaxing the mule to jump across the canyon. And he realized the mule wasn't going to quite make it, so he hopped off the mule and was able to leap to the other side and escape the Indians. He used to tell people that he dug the Grand Canyon. And one time a little girl asked him, "Well, Captain Hance, what'd you do with all the dirt?" And being a pretty quick-witted storyteller, apparently he didn't have an answer for her. And they say that even on his deathbed, he was still murmuring, "What did I do with all the dirt?" He used to tell tourists about snowshoeing across the canyon in the wintertime when it was full of clouds. The clouds would break up, he'd have to run out to one of the points out there and spend a few days till the clouds came back. And kind of a significant rapid. This is one to not ride on the side tubes on and be sitting down and have good handholds, good rapid riding position. We may end up going through here backwards for some of it, all of it. May go through some of these features out there, what river runners call holes, which kind of present themselves as a low-speed car wreck, when you go thumping into those things. So holding on is in your interest, not being near any of those cracks. Tea room people want to have your feet to the inside and hanging on down in the floor. And you want to be away from that, the rubber crusher tube in the boxes. If you're sitting in there, your flesh may get squoze in there and not be so comfortable. You'd have a lined bruise.
Why did you go through that one?
No seats left, now what?
Most of these rapid can kind of just go down through them, but here, to avoid some of the features down there, we cross the current. In the process of doing that, of entering different speed currents, you lose control of the nose, so that and to turn it back around, what you have to do is make this big long half moon turn. And and if that half moon turn includes going up on shore, there's just not water over there. So staying backwards is the next best thing.
The motor is pulling the raft rather than pushing it.
No, you're still driving upstream, just kind of keeping that nose and ferrying back and forth to stay in the deep channel.
So you use it to ferry it all, or is it just power?
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of coming in, starting with a ferry, and you're dropping in behind some rocks into some slower water in the current you're in. So by nature, it wants to turn you going straight through. Most people, that's how they do it. Myself, I don't know. More conservative, I guess. Maybe not as good at it. I don't know.
Be careful your toes don't get
I do it, just see how I end up. Used to be there was a lot more current coming off the left side, though, because of this flood is taking away a lot of that current. So it used to be a lot easier to straighten out. Also, you had a good current coming off the left that would help straighten you out. And I kind of feel like that's not there today. So I seem to end up backwards a lot more than I do forwards. They get it, yeah, they're looking at the waves. But ideally we're missing the waves. We're in kind of the deep channel and creeping through there. And again, I'd like to have you folks up front sitting down. I'd like to pay attention to driving, not what you're going to do in the 11th hour. So sit down. Go ahead and sit down. Please sit down. And hanging on back here is in your better interest. Roger. No, hanging on two hands on the floor. If you end up banging yourself up, it'll be a situation of "I told you so."
All right, I'll put the
You can be like the
down
Russian lady that had to take in when she lost her finger for hanging on the way she thought was appropriate after running all those big Russian rivers.
All right.